afternoon. My name is Eugene Piccolo. I'm the Executive Director of the Minnesota Association of Charter Schools, and we're very glad that you're all able to be here this afternoon. As you know, we were scheduled to be here on December 10th, which was actually the 30th anniversary of the granting of the first charter in the United States to Bluffview Montessori through Winona School District. And so there was a snowstorm that day, as you know, so we're glad you're able to be here today. So with that, Maestro.
I'll try not to talk too much. My name is Chris Fingus. I'm the music instructor here. This is our jam band. So if you're unfamiliar, this is our group that meets after school. So they take extra time to be here on Wednesdays and play some music. That first number was Louie Louie by the Kingsmen. And we're going to play one more, We Will Rock You by Queen. I totally did not pick the royalty thing until I just realized it today. Totally didn't matter. But this is We Will Rock You. One, two, ready, bang.
As I mentioned earlier, it was 30 years ago, last December 10th, that the Minnesota State School Board approved the request of the Winona School District to sponsor Bluffview Montessori that was submitted to the state board only 3 weeks earlier. Today, to get a charter, it takes about 18 months, but they did it in 3 weeks back then. In a letter written on December 10th, to Mr. Stuart Miller, State Board of Education wrote, I am pleased to inform you that your request to sponsor Bluffview Montessori as a charter school has been approved by the State Board of Education at our meeting on December 10th, 1991. This was a historic moment for both Winona and the State Board because Bluffview is the first charter request to be presented and approved. He continued, you are now authorized to enter into a contract with Bluffview. So Bluffview Montessori has the distinction of having the first charter granted not only in Minnesota, but in the United States. And today, 44 other states and the District of Columbia have charter schools. Enrolling, there's over 7,000 charter schools now across the country, enrolling over 3.5 million students. The school would have also been the first charter school to open in the country, but there were some issues that occurred. One was that some of the original signers for the charter left the school, and there were some people in the school district, as well as the teachers union Winona, that filed a grievance and a lawsuit. And so it was not until December 14th, 1992, that the contract was finalized and the school was okay to open, which it did on March 2nd, 1993. So we're again happy to be here and also that you are here today to share this occasion. And we'd like to invite up first to share a few remarks is the mayor of Winona, Scott Sherman.
Hello, thank you for having me. I have a personal connection to this school and to this building. My son, who's now 20, was a student here from Children's House Preschool with Mr. Henry, who's now the administrator here, all the way up through Kinder. So I got to see how he blossomed, how he learned here, what the methods that were used here in the Montessori system, and how they impacted my son. But I was also a volunteer here for 8 years. I worked with students of all different ages, reading to them sometimes doing math, sometimes working on science projects. But I did spend a lot of time here. I think it was every Thursday right outside this door. You could find me crouched down with a group of about 5 or 6 or 8 kids every week. And I did that for many years. So I do have a truly personal connection to this school. I was just talking with someone before this saying I wasn't familiar with all the history of the school when my son went here. I got to see how the Montessori method really created brilliant children who had the opportunity to grow not only mentally, but emotionally. The way they work together in the Montessori setting and within the unique charter system was eye-opening to me because I came up through a traditional learning method. And I really am so excited. I know that it hasn't always been great here. It hasn't always been easy to be a charter school. But I do know that the people that have been here, the administrators, the teachers, the children, and the parents have all put as much of their lives into this building as this school gives back to our community. And so really, I'm very excited about this. I dressed up today because I think this is an important step in Bluffview Montessori. And I'm very excited to be here. I really appreciate everyone in this room for being here. And I'm looking forward to another 30 years of Bluffview Montessori contributing to the futures of our Winonas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. We also are privileged this afternoon to have two of your state representatives from this area here. And the first one we'll invite up is Representative Stephen Druskowski.
Thank you. Unlike the mayor, I didn't dress up today. I would actually have a construction project at my business going on, and so the construction closed one today. But thank you for inviting me. Thank you for all you do. Good afternoon, everybody. I am honored to join you all for this remarkable occasion as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of Bluffview Montessori. I want to thank everyone who made this possible. 30 years of education is no small accomplishment. Every teacher, administrator, and leader who made this happen deserves our gratitude. Because of your dedication, the children of our communities are so much better off. In America, we strive to work hard, improve, and create a better nation for our children. Charter schools are such an important component of this mission. In decades past, and even today, we've seen children that are trapped in failing schools. For too many of these students, a good education was and still is inaccessible. However, the creation of charter schools fundamentally changed this dynamic and brought top-tier education to so many students across our country. As a Minnesotan, I am proud to say that charter schools started right here with Bluffview Montessori. For this school and every charter school, education of the highest quality has always been the goal. Such excellence was brought about using a very simple common sense idea: educational choice. Charter schools give parents the ability to choose where their children are educated. This freedom empowers parents and fosters healthy competition. In turn, the competition sharpens learning and holds schools accountable. As a result, charter schools like Bluffview Montessori offer many things that other schools cannot, such as small class sizes, a wide variety of curriculum, and individualized attention. In this way, Bluffview Montessori embodies what education should be. For all these reasons, we must continue the proliferation of charter schools. Our state would be so blessed to see more schools like Bluffview Montessori in both the Twin Cities and Greater Minnesota. To everyone here, congratulations on 30 years of great education.
Thank you, Representative Janikowski. And also we have Representative Gene Kalowski, who's been representative for, what, 38 years, I think? 36.
Yes, I've been here longer than Bluffview Montessori. To these students, that would make it ancient history. But I also want to thank Senator Ember Reshcott-Young for being here as the sponsor of the bill. But I want to remind all of you that our state senator, Steve Morris, was also one of the sponsors of the bill and was essential for this being passed 30 years ago. So when we talk about the importance of legislation, remember that all politics is local. Our local Senator Steve Morris was critical to ensuring that the bill passed and that this charter school started. I remember how controversial it was, Senator, 30 years ago. I also want to recognize one of your faculty, Megan Booth. I had Megan Booth as a non-traditional student in 2019 Am I teaching social studies in the secondary class at Winona State University? I say non-traditional because she was teaching here, but she needed certification to make sure her license was appropriate. She brought a depth to that class that was extraordinary, but she did one other thing. She relinked Bluffview Montessori with Winona model legislature. So we had your students participating in hands-on learning with 130 other students from private schools in the area, public schools in the area, charter schools in the area, in their own house, their own senate, their own governor, creating their own legislation. And I do believe one of those bills dealt with charter schools, Senator. So, and I have it if you want me to email it to you. So I know that this will continue to be a successful educational institution, because with the quality of staff like Megan Booth, you cannot fail. Congratulations.
Senator Jeremy Miller was going to be here in December, but today did not work out, so he sent a letter. So let me read it to you. To the students and staff of Bluffview Montessori, congratulations on your 30th anniversary. I regret not being able to attend your celebration in person, but I'm with you in spirit. You should be incredibly proud of your success and the effort and teamwork it took to reach this milestone. I have enjoyed partnering with Bluffview and our local schools during my time in office. It is a statement to the vision of Dr. Maria Montessori over 100 years ago that her method continues to drive today, as evidenced by the success of Bluffview Montessori and other Montessori schools throughout Minnesota and the country. You are not just teaching students to work collaboratively and individually or fostering their social, emotional, or developmental behavior. You are shaping the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you for everything you are doing for our students. Congratulations again. I look forward to working with you for years to come. What's really important also is that it was Senator Miller's uncle who was the chairman of the Winona School Board when they applied for the charter, to be a sponsor of the charter school. And we are fortunate this afternoon also to have, as Representative Pawlowski mentioned, the author of Minnesota's first in the nation, first in the world charter school law, because charter schools are now in other countries besides the United States. And so if you'd welcome former Senator Ember Reichgott-Young.
What a pleasure it is to be here to celebrate with you this historic occasion and to thank all of you who have made Bluffview such a success. I want to thank my fellow legislators. I served with Representative Pawlowski and Senator Morse, and I really appreciate your comments also, Representative Pawlowski, if I got that right. Because what this shows and what you show is how bipartisan chartering is. It was back 30 years ago and still is today, and I've always appreciated that. I believe I am the only person who was in the hearing room at the school board 30 years ago on November 18th. Was anybody else there? Anybody else there? Because I had the opportunity to relive that in my book, Zero Chance of Passage, and I thought I would just give you a couple of the highlights from that experience, because it was a really very vivid experience for me as a senator. But the story actually starts back in the conference committee in May of 1991. The Senate had charter schools in the bill, but they also proposed that there be alternate authorizers. There'd be school boards, or the State Board of Education could be the authorizer of a charter school. The House had nothing in their bill, and so we had to compromise. But when the compromise occurred, I have to tell you that I was personally devastated. I thought a charter school would never happen, because the charter compromise was that instead of having one or the other authorizer, you had to have approval from both of them. So it had to be first the school board and then the State Board of Education. The problem is the school boards were not sending us love for the charter school idea. So it took a while for applications to come forward, and it was not what we expected when we heard from Bluffview, because we had thought chartering would be new schools, but this was a private school wanting to convert to public. And we thought, well, wait a minute, that's not what we thought, but it made all the sense in the world that there wasn't very much time, and you would start where you had a base and where you could do it thoughtfully, because it takes a lot of work to start a new charter school. So I thought, okay, I'm going to come down and I'm going to help. So on November 18th, 1991, I came, that's 30 years ago, I cannot believe it's 30 years ago. I came to Winona for a hearing before the Winona School Board, where Michael Thorer presented a proposal for a K-6 chartered school. And he said, I remember this vividly, that the Montessori option should not be limited to the wealthy. He had a petition of nearly 1,200 signatures from people in Winona in support of his proposal. He had to defend his proposal for an hour and a half before a packed auditorium. And he also had to state his clear understanding that as a chartered school, they must accept all applicants on a first-come, first-served basis. And he also confirmed that he would move the school from the basement of a church to a non-secular location. Well, that evening, the Winona School Board voted 5-2 to authorize Bluffview as a chartered school. It was the first school board in the nation, as you said, to approve a charter, and for me, it was a watershed moment to observe the first approval of a charter school. You see, the Bluffview teachers and parents were ecstatic. This came from the grassroots, which is what we kind of thought that chartering would be from, the grassroots, and that moved me greatly. So chartering has succeeded for 30 years because of that same community support. And for the first time, I have evidence that the compromise chartering legislation might still impact people's lives. And it told me that there was a future for chartering in Minnesota after all. So it was a historic occasion, but I want to just mention that it took a great deal of courage for the Winona School Board to do this over the objection of the superintendent. I'm just talking to your current superintendent about this. The debate of that night still goes on in the country today. The superintendent told the board that Winona schools of 4,900 students would lose about $90,000 in state funds if they lost the 34 students to the Montessori school. But the chair of the board, Stuart Miller, related to the majority leader, had a child in the Bluffview preschool, and he supported the plan. And he actually was quoted in the paper, and I quote him in my book. I think the benefits outweigh the risks. The whole point should be what's best for children, not what's best for the school district or the Montessori school. And then he also went on to say that the argument about losing money was specious. Quote, if we lose students to the charter school, we don't have to expend the revenues to serve those students. I think we gain a new way of delivering the public school to people, and we give them a choice. So the last step was to get the final approval, as Eugene said, from the State Board of Education. But the impact of Bluffview went even further, because right after that, U.S. Senator David Durnberger visited the school, and this was part of his inspiration to then have federal legislation for startup funding for Bluffview and other charter schools. So the impact of Bluffview truly has impacted the nation. I'm here today not only as someone who was in that room 30 years ago, but I'm pleased to be here today as one of the founders of the National Charter Schools Founders Library. That's a digital library that records the history and origins of chartering around the nation, including, of course, Minnesota. And I'm very pleased that the taping for today will be a part of that national record, because this is indeed a historic occasion, the 30th anniversary of the approval of the very first charter by a school board in Minnesota and the nation. And I thank you so much for that.
one of the things that is most important about Minnesota's charter school law was that in Minnesota, we are only one of 3 states where charter schools are school districts unto themselves. They are public schools, as you know, but they are a school district, which in Minnesota has made a huge difference in the relationship between traditional school districts and charter schools over the years. And it also has made a huge difference in how charter schools are seen and treated by the state of Minnesota. So today we're honored, everyone come up. We're honored to present to Bluffview Montessori on the 30th anniversary of their approval as the nation's first authorized chartered public school by the Winona Area Public Schools. It says presented on December 10th, but it's not, by the Minnesota Association of Charter Schools, celebrating chartering for 30 years.
Thank you, Eugene. This is great. With a great deal of humility, I'm really happy to accept this award on behalf of the staff, the students, and families of Bluffview Montessori, both past and present. The success we enjoy today is built on hard work and dedication of a lot of people. I appreciate all the work that they've done. Thank you, Eugene, for all the support Max has given us, especially the last 2.5 years, but for a long time. Appreciate it. Back in December, I found myself a little relieved actually when this got postponed. I wasn't quite ready. I didn't quite know what I want to say. I can talk about this place. I love it here. I can talk about it for hours. I can pick any of 1,000 different topics, all the great people I've met. It's pretty easy to just kind of go on and on. But other than a sincere thank you to those people who have taken a part in this, everybody in this room, a lot of people maybe watching, a lot of people not able to be here, like Mike Monroe's daughter, who did the Montessori, ran the training center where Katie and I actually went. So I was hoping he could make it today, it didn't quite work. But selfishly, I was a little bit happy that it got postponed. I thought about the staff, kind of our future, where we're going, where we're trying to get to, where we've been, how we're going to get there. And it just so happened the week after I was sitting at Culver's, just thinking about school, because I rarely think about anything other than this place in my downtime. It's kind of a lifestyle. And I saw one of our former students that has worked there for a while. One of the things I appreciate about Culver's is they have a mission and program that supports kids with special needs, so they can come out and they can earn a wage, have a job, and do good things. As it happened that day, she came over and we were just kind of chatting. And I was thinking before she came over, how do I encapsulate what this place is about? How do I explain what we're trying to do, the goals, and why people that are here and engaged in it do like it so much? When I take a prospective parent on a tour or show a potential interviewee in the classrooms, I always try to work the concept of independence into the conversation. One of our big focal points here is to help students grow in independent learners. Starting with our youngest in children's houses, they work to the idea of help me do it myself. Kind of quintessential children's house quote, help me do it myself. And ending with our kinder students, who in the back work with the staff as we try to get them to help me think for myself. Independent learners, independent thinkers. Really what this place is built on, top to bottom, is what we're trying to cultivate. The Bluffview Montessori vision statement reads, empowered learners unfolding their full potential as whole and unique persons in a global community. Unfolding their potential directly suggests that they're the ones undertaking this great task. The kids are leading the way. They're making the choices in the classroom. We're following their lead. unfolding that potential is something that I sincerely hope everybody here, every educator in every school believes that every kid can do, regardless of where they come from, what they come to you with. They all have great potential. So as I was chatting with this kiddo, for whatever reason, my thoughts kind of started to coalesce a little bit. And Maria Montessori had said, free the child's potential, we will transform him into the world. So we have potential, independence, and a lot of structure here built around freedom to choose, the freedom to repeat their work. So as I was kind of thinking about this, the one word that jumped to mind is opportunity. When I think about Bluffview, I really think about opportunity. But often we put words up there as descriptors and don't really talk about what is it in real time, what does it look like, what does it mean? So what does opportunity look like here? It looks like happy, engaged kids making choices about their school with the freedom to move, to converse with their friends, repeat the work that they're really engrossed in as they choose in a supportive environment with mission-based staff. Looks like teachers that have great autonomy in their work within the Montessori framework. It looks like a school in a greater sense that is able to leverage the best of two worlds. We have the Montessori philosophy, we have the public education piece, and they don't always align. But we look at the glasses being half full, and we take the best parts from both. And it also looks like in Winona, a place where parents have an embarrassment of riches. We have so much school choice here, so many good schools. It's really a great opportunity for parents to make choices for an education that fits their beliefs and their life. And it also looks like a school director, myself, that couldn't even get a job interview out of college. It's amazing that given opportunity and some support that I've gotten to this job, the support and the work here, the staff here, are everything about this place that are great. So thank you. Bluffview being the first charter in the nation is really amazing. It's really cool. What could be more appropriate for the first charter in the United States to be built around opportunity? Opportunity for the families, for the kids, for the staff. Thank you to everyone who's played a part in the story of Bluffview Montessori. Please know we'll keep working hard to maintain this great little school, to be good stewards, and to continue to offer this great opportunity of choice to any family interested in a public Montessori education for their kids in Winona for another 30 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry. There was one other person that was hoping to be here, was going to be here in December, but could not be here and has sent a letter. Dear Bluffview community, congratulations on your 30th anniversary. I am sorry I'm not able to join you to honor this special occasion, but please know that I am celebrating along with you. It is no surprise that Minnesota is home to the nation's first authorized charter school. We are known for our innovation in education. The history of Bluffview Montessori and the work that continues to happen each day to provide a high-quality education for students is a testament to that commitment and innovation. I am proud and excited to commemorate Bluffview's 30th school years of service to students and families. What began in Minnesota, right in Winona, has fostered a movement in public education across the country, as now 44 states in the District of Columbia have charter schools. Today, 180 operational charter schools exist in Minnesota, serving almost 10% of Minnesota students. These schools provide access to language immersion, STEM, environmental, Montessori, community and culture-based programs, among many other curricular approaches. Charter schools are an important part of our educational system, ensuring every student is able to access a high-quality public education that fits their needs. To the whole team at Bluffview Montessori, thank you for serving students and families in Winona community and congratulations again on 30 years. Sincerely, Heather Mueller, ED, Commissioner of the State of Minnesota Department of Education. And with that, we'd like to thank you, everybody, again, and we'd ask Henry and our representatives, the mayor and the superintendent and Ember to come up. We want to take a picture of the group. And thank you all. And there's coffee and cake in the back for all of you. And all the students are also getting a cupcake as part of the celebration this afternoon. So thank you.